Want to support us but don't have the money? No worries. If you listen to the podcast using the Radio Public app for iOS or Android devices, you can help us keep the site running at no cost to you. Or if you want to make a one-time gift, you can do so via PayPal. Details under the Help the Site tab on audiodramareviews.com. Hey everyone, this is Michael Berganzi from Audio Drama Reviews, and I'm here with a special episode of WWLT. I'm here with David Steele of Steele
Empire.
Steele Empire. Okay, cool. So tell us a little about yourself, David.
Yeah, man, it's so cool to meet you. I'm excited about that. Just finding someone that's into audio drama and has a podcast about it. So this is the first time I learned about your podcast. So I have a new podcast to listen to. So that's cool. Steele Empire. My kids and I made SteeleEmpire.com to be our podcast network. And after making our first podcast, our D&D, Dungeons and Dragons podcast, it's called A Quest for Magic and Steel. Steele with our Steele last name, Steele. So we, after doing that, I said, you know what? I always wanted to make a book come alive. I actually did some book narration, and I used to read books to my kids and do the voices. So, and hence the reason I enjoy doing D&D. I love playing a character. So I said, you know what? For our next podcast adventure, let's do an audio drama. I want to do a drama, not just with people narrating it. I don't want to just read a book. I want to make a soundscape of a world come alive. So my initial idea for Ark City, it's ARKCITY, Ark City was to have me, to make it easier on me because the production is so hard, and getting other voice actors and people involved will be just that much more work. Here I am working a full-time job and doing the one podcast, and it's difficult enough. So I figured, let me do an audio drama about, kind of like you have a recorder we're using right now to record us. I'll have a guy wake up in postmodern, kind of a few years from now, after some kind of a cataclysmic event, and a lot of people are missing. He doesn't know. He ends up waking up somewhere, and you don't know what's going on. He's I was going to have him wake up on a bench underneath, maybe at a bus park stop, and he's laying there, and he wakes up. He gets up, and he finds this recorder, and he sees it's on. He starts messing with it. He has no idea. He doesn't do sound, but the whole idea is that he would have this thing, and he'd keep turning it on, and that would be the drama. So it'd be every time he turns it on, he'd start making a journal. I don't know what's going on here, blah, 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 what's going on. So Ark City was going to be that. Then a friend of mine, Adam Christopher, who had a podcast, After Six podcast, I found out being Facebook friends with him. He was a fan of A Quest for Magic and Steel. He said he's a writer. He's going to school, trying to become a writer. He's already got kids and family, and so it's a thing he's working on. I said, hey, dude, you want to help me out with this endeavor? Since I can't write. I have these ideas. I'm like a creator mind, but I can't put it into paper in script form. That's difficult for me to do. That's the tedious part for me. I just have these ideas, and I just want to throw them up on the table and say, okay, what do we do with this? Put this in order. So he is amazing. Technically, he was on fire. We had this meetup around the phone. We just had a conference call. My two oldest daughters, Amara and Shayna, myself and Adam, and we talked about this world, Ark City, and it became this huge thing where, we have 10 seasons already that in mind that this thing can go on forever. It's crazy. So we said, okay, let's back it up. Let's start where we're going to start. So season 1 is out, and Ark City season 1 is this guy. I'm the main character. His name is Nathan Alexander. We find out his pseudonym is Lawful Good. That's his nickname. Nathan Alexander is his real name. You find out as you're listening to season 1. But his pseudonym, his other name, is Lawful Good. And Lawful Good is kind of a take on a character personality in Dungeons and Dragons. So you have chaotic neutral, lawful good, lawful neutral. It kind of affects how you are as a character. So Lawful Good, he's a good guy, wants to do good, but he's also kind of trying to stay in line with the laws of mankind or nature kind of deal. Anyway, so we start out in season 1 with him waking up we find out by the end of the episode. So if you want to listen to it, you don't want any teasers or what do you call those things? Spoilers. Thank you. If you don't want spoilers, then don't listen to this part right here. But by the end of episode 10 of season 1, you find out he wakes up from a cryotube. So all season 1 episodes are actually in his head. So all this thing, you hear him, he goes through this whole experience, and you're with him. You don't know if it's real or not. It ends up being, it's in his head. It's not even a dream, really. He kind of like transports himself into these different consciousness. And you have to get into the show. It's a sci-fi kind of thing to find out what that means. But he wakes up into the real world at the end of season 1. And then you hear him walking. You hear the soundscape around him, the trees and the birds and the wind. And then he meets up with one guy out in Ark City. And that's how we end season 1. Season 2 we're working on right now, and it's him out in the world and meeting all these people in Ark City. And so I have a ton of voice actors that are helping out with this one. So, okay, so I have one. I also did a complete. I put episodes 1 through 10 all together for people that might want to listen to like an hour and a half long straight through. Normally the episodes are like 8 to 12 minutes long. They're short.
What made you want to do an hour-long episode rather than just episodes in general?
Well, if you look at the feed, if you go and download it on a podcast player, or you go to the website, it's arkcity.us. If you go there and you click on like the audio files, you'll see each episode is separate. You can listen. Episode 1 is like 8-9 minutes or 10 minutes. Episode 2 is maybe 14 minutes. I forget the exact, but they're very short episodes. After the whole season was finished, actually the writer, Adam Christopher, suggested, hey, why don't you do a compilation of all of them? Because some people might want to just download one file and listen to all of them. And so it's the same episodes. It's just, and I even put in the title of it, it's complete. Ark City, Season 1, complete. So if you wanted to listen to them all, bang, 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 if you're driving on a long ride and you don't want to hear the end music and intro music, like that little, 15-second, 20-second break in between each one, and you just want to listen to the whole story complete, we help for that too. So I think that was a good idea, but hopefully it doesn't confuse people into thinking it's a separate episode.
Yeah, I wasn't really confused so much as, I was very distracted, I guess, from my life in general, I guess, that I was listening to the whole thing pretty much. I'm like, what happened exactly in this episode? So now I have to go back and listen to each episode individually. Hopefully the credits will give me a nice break in between each.
Yes.
Exactly. So my next question is about episode 1. Essentially, it is sort of a satire first-person narrative. I was wondering you could tell me a little bit more about the creative process of that, if you can, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the satire kind of thing, he's just a normal guy. I think, every person is different. We all have different personalities. Some people are more outgoing. Some people are introverts, have a hard time speaking. So he's introverted in a sense. He's a geek nerd. He loves gaming. He loves tabletop games, D&D. So I want to get that across. That's me. So it kind of is my own personality, really. So at the same time, I'm just a weirdo, kind of I find everything funny. I can just act stupid with certain things. So I sing to myself too a lot. So he does that. He just starts singing about things that are in his mind, and it's silly. And actually, the first song he starts singing about making tea, and he says, "Making tea now, making bacon tea," and that's actually from Adventure Time. There's a few parts of that where there's movie quotes, and there's even just songs that I have in my head that I kind of just blurt out, and that was off script. That was just me acting like my kids always call me, you're such a dad, because I have dad jokes and stuff like that, and that's the character. So, yeah.
So basically, where can they find your podcast, and where can they find you as a podcast creator, I guess?
Yeah, well, Ark City, if you want to get into that, I'm real excited, too, about that, because we made the website, Ark City, ARKCITY.US. We made it look like it's part of the show, and we have more that we're going to do. Right now, when you go to it, it doesn't look like a podcast. When you go to the site, there's these people, there's these general pictures, there's even a construction picture, and it's like, hey, this is Ark City, come and join us. You're welcome. Maybe you'll be chosen. That's what it looks like. So it looks like you're checking out the real Ark City. If you click on some of the links, contact us. There's a phone number and stuff for actual Ark City. You'll send an email to information@Ark City. So you're not really talking to David Steele. You're actually joining Ark City. If you click on the audio files menu button, it opens up a hack screen. And a lot of people got scared with that. They said, is this real? Is my computer getting hacked? It looks like a DOS terminal, and it says the hack worked, and and it's like this mud thing, and it makes it's black with green, writing. It's really, if you haven't checked it out, please do. I'm just so excited about that part.
I must have missed that one, but yeah.
Click on audio files on that. So to get to the audio files, that pops up, and it's the main character, Lawful Good, Nathan, saying, hey, I hacked into Ark City's net. Hopefully you can see this. And he talks about, he writes, I don't remember exactly what it is, but he writes in there saying how, don't believe the lies. I need, this is real. I'm trying to, do whatever, find my wife, blah, blah, blah. So if you could listen to the files and find the truth, it's there. So, and then he leaves a phone number. There's a 567, I think, is the area code, but it's like 567 Ark City. And so you can actually call that and leave me a message. I've had people do that. So they're talking to Nathan, and say, hang in there, Nathan, you can do it, don't give up, kind of thing, encouraging. And you can email, and there's a Twitter address too. Nathan Lawful Good has a Twitter address. It's Lawful Good Nate. So, and that's on the website, but at Lawful Good Nate, Nate. And on Twitter, on that, I act out like I'm Nathan. So if you respond to me on Twitter there, I'll talk to you like I'm in the audio drama when I respond. It's not David Steele responding. So I think that's kind of fun. We're also going to do an RPG game I'm making, one of the old school like Final Fantasy games, because you can make them pretty easy. I'm going to have that where it's actual Ark City, and you say do and Lawful Good, and you'll move the character, and you'll find like Easter eggs, that stuff that you don't get in the show.
Okay.
You follow me on that?
Yeah, so like transmedia essentially. So.
Yeah. So we're crossing over all that, and I think that's going to make Ark City even huger, when that's all done, and then people will go back. Like now, it's just my first season, and I'm brand new to the whole genre, so I really want to hear what people think. I'm interested to hear what you think. Like when you said about like the one complete season is confusing or too much, it is a lot, and it's not meant to be really listened that way.
Okay.
Episode by episode is where it's meant to be broken up, but and if I hear people say, like if somebody that knows, like you're experienced in listening to shows, if you think that's too confusing, I'm on the fence about it. I would gladly pull that, because me personally, I think that may be confusing. So, not sure, but and I like to hear people that have heard a lot of audio dramas. What do you think about it? Are the volumes off? Or is the sound effect stuff in the background too much? Does it feel immersive? And when you put your headphones on, some sounds I did like a moving landscape. So, is that good? Is it bad? I really want critique, good or bad, to do better. But anyway, I'm sorry. You can also find us at steeleempire.com. We have links to everything. It's STEELE, SteeleEmpire.com. We have links to our D&D podcast, Magic and Steel, links to Ark City, links to another podcast I do, Thread Raiders. It's a group of creators on social media that got together. We talk with people that are on Twitter, Facebook, that do Twitch streams, which I just started doing for D&D. Gamers that play on there, anybody, artists, graphic artists, indie people. We talk to them, and we talk about current events. It's a fun show. It's kind of lighthearted, but anyway, I think that answers the question, right? I have Twitter handles that are on SteeleEmpire.com. You can find them, Steele Empire or myself personally, to reach out. You can email us. We have Instagram, all that stuff, but that's on the website.
Hey, Mike Berganza here, founder of Audio Drama Reviews. If you like what you heard, consider following us on Twitter and Facebook, subscribing to our YouTube and SoundCloud channels, and last but not least, our Patreon and iTunes accounts. Links to all those in the episode description. Did you know you can read these reviews before they're released on the feed? Sign up for our email list and get new reviews delivered straight to your inbox. You'll be the first to know about new content coming to the site. Thanks for listening.